12 News, change atop the Golden Valley Police Department. The current chief says she's retiring at the end of the month. Plus, a congressman's victory tour to highlight a tax freeze for the area's medical device industry. But first, an arrest that highlights the problem of heroin. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. A man considered to be one of the biggest heroin dealers in the metro area could face significant prison time.
And the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office arrested him last week. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more on the charges he's facing. Delane?
Mike and Alex, investigators say Jamie McClellan distributed significant quantities of heroin across the metropolitan area. But in addition to his drug crimes, Hennepin County prosecutors have also charged him with third-degree murder.
Today is a win-win for law enforcement and a win for the residents in Hennepin and Anoka counties.
Tuesday morning, law enforcement officials announced that alleged heroin dealer Jamie McClellan has been charged with third-degree murder for his role in a heroin overdose death.
Drug dealers will be held accountable for the deaths that result from the poison that they are peddling. And I'm proud of the work of the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office on these cases because of their aggressive prosecution of drug dealers.
According to the criminal complaint, a man was found dead in his Medina home last October from a heroin overdose.
The victim was warned to, quote unquote, be careful, it's the good stuff. You know, that warning just doesn't cut it and resulted in fateful, deadly, tragic consequences for the victim.
Investigators searched the victim's computers and iPhone, and through that, they found text messages which indicated that McClellan was the heroin supplier. Deputies used confidential informants to buy heroin from McClellan over the next 2 months, leading to the arrest. Authorities say McClellan had 15 grams of heroin on him. Officers also seized nearly $350,000 from a Plymouth storage locker.
It's bittersweet because someone is dead. And so we are doing our job day in and day out, investigating narcotics crimes. And as a result of that, it is, you're dealing with the tragedies of these situations.
Court records show that McClellan lived at this Brooklyn Park apartment complex on Zane Avenue. But if he's convicted, he could be living behind bars for the next 25 years.
We want people to know that there are consequences for selling heroin, and there are consequences for using heroin. Sometimes the consequences are tragic, like the death of this individual.
McClellan also faces several other drug charges in Anoka County. He's currently in the Anoka County Jail, where bail is set at $1 million. Mike?
All right, Delane, thank you. A Brooklyn Park woman has pleaded guilty to making terroristic threats against a Muslim couple. Nancy Knoble admitted to threatening the husband and wife who were trying to pick up their son from a friend's house in Brooklyn Park. Knoble pounded on their car window and displayed what looked like a rifle. She ordered the husband to go get his son with the gun pointed at his back. When the couple's son appeared, Knoble apologized, saying her weapon was only a pellet gun. Knoble will be sentenced in February.
Colder weather may be just around the corner, and Brooklyn Center police are warning drivers not to leave cars running unattended. Police say it happens a lot as the temperature drops, but it's also a good way to get your car stolen. While it hasn't even turned really cold yet, police say 3 running cars were already stolen in the past week.
We see a spike traditionally during the winter season as it gets colder, where people want to keep their car running and warm, and they want to make quick trips into their house or into a gas station or some other business. And then when they come out, their vehicle's gone.
Police recommend remote starters. It starts your car without keys in the ignition and with the doors locked.
Well, there will be a changing of the guard in Golden Valley. Golden Valley Police Chief Stacy Carlson has announced she is retiring at the end of the month. Carlson has served as police chief for the last 8 years. In a written statement, Carlson says she felt the timing was right for her to pass the baton. She says the department has a lot of leaders and is well poised to deliver the best possible services well into the future. Carlson will be replaced by current police commander Jason Sturgis. Sturgis has been with the Golden Valley Police Department since 2004. Well, after Congress approved a tax freeze on medical device sales, Representative Eric Paulsen is taking a victory lap.
Paulsen toured 3 medical device firms in Maple Grove and 1 in Plymouth today. Eric Nelson caught up with the congressman who lobbied for months against the tax.
There is holiday joy in the Minnesota medical world.
It's a big win in terms of repealing a very onerous tax.
Last week, President Obama signed into law a bill that freezes a 2.3% medical device tax for 2 years.
It came together because it was the right thing to do, and everyone recognized this was a really bad policy.
The suspension is an early Christmas gift for those in the medical device business. Many of them thought the tax crippled innovation and cost the industry billions.
What you have to do is you have to lay off people, and it's usually in the R&D. And the research and development is what gets new products out for the next generation of treatment for patients.
The tax affected businesses like Nexthera and Maple Grove, which makes devices to combat prostate diseases.
It's on revenue, and it's not based on profits. And the tax can be all over the place, and it can be extremely high. You know, from 2.3%, it could be up to 85%.
Minnesota Congressman Eric Paulsen sponsored the Protect Medical Innovation Act of 2015. He spent months trying to get it passed.
If you want to get something done, you got to be persistent, and I think it's focusing like a laser and then convincing colleagues with good relationship building on a bipartisan level. That's how you get things done, and we just need to do more of that in Washington.
Paulsen's next goal is to make the tax vanish for good.
We need to make the repeal permanent. A 2-year suspension gets us down the road, I think, to achieving that goal.
Now, Congressman Eric Paulsen says because of its high concentration of medical device jobs, Minnesota was essentially paying 25% of the tax. And Alex and Mike, there was a bipartisan support to suspend the tax. DFL Senators Amy Klobuchar and Al Franken voted for the freeze. Klobuchar says she will be working with Paulsen to make the freeze permanent.
All right. I know that coalition's been working for a couple of years.
Yes,
so
they can work together.
Got results. Thanks a lot, Eric.
All right.
Lund's and Byerly's does it, so does Cub Foods and Target too. Now Hy-Vee is going to add to the mix of grocery stores that offer delivery services. Hy-Vee opened up in New Hope back in September. The Iowa-based grocer is also building a Brooklyn Park store. Customers can order groceries online to pick up at the store for a $2.95 fee or have them delivered for just under $5. Fees are waived for orders over $100. Coming up, a common mistake many parents make when putting their child in a car seat.
And then later in sports, the Hopkins boys basketball team moves into the top spot in the state rankings.
But first, a washout on Wednesday. Rain will fill much of the day with a chance of turning to slushy snow in the evening.
Minnesota health officials are warning about a new strain of norovirus making thorough hand washing even more important. Norovirus is the most common cause of sudden intestinal illness. Minnesota recorded the first outbreak from this new strain last week. Norovirus is often mistaken for the stomach flu, but it's not related to influenza. A car crash can happen in an instant.
That's right, and sometimes the difference between life and death or serious injury depends on the safety precautions people take to protect themselves and their kids while they're on the road. In today's Health Check, Delane Cleveland shows us how to safely strap kids in a car seat and how a certain cold weather accessory could be dangerous.
Mike and Alex, this hasn't exactly been the coldest winter, but a lot of us are trying to stay warm by wearing puffy coats. But Leanne Mortensen here from North Memorial Hospital says that that's not the safest thing when it comes to kids and car seats. So Leanne, what can you tell us about that?
Thanks so much for having me. What I want to do is cover just a couple of points, and then we'll talk really about the safety issue with the puffy coats or the puffy clothing. So one of the things you want to make sure with your child is that they're in the right car seat. So always make sure that you're looking on either the label or on the manufacturer's box that tell you the weight and the height that your child fits in the car seat. The right place, kids always belong in the back seat. That's really the safest. We don't want them in the front where there's an airbag. Keep them rear facing until they're 2 years old. We know that that is absolutely the safest with crash forces, that if you're to get in a crash, that is going to help spread the forces and the child is going to be safer. Once you have your car seat installed, what you want to do is take your non-dominant hand and move it. If it moves more than an inch, it means that it's not tight enough and you need to go back and try and make it a little bit tighter. You don't want it to move more than 1 inch back and forth, side to side. And then the last one, which is the most important one today, is to talk about the pinch test. You have the harness strap and you're taking your fingers and making sure that you can't get any. If you can get some of this, then it needs to be made tighter, which is where it comes into the puffy coats and puffy clothing.
So real quick, what is it that's so dangerous, or what's the worst case scenario about wearing a puffy coat in one of these cars?
Okay, because if this child had on a puffy coat and you get into a crash and the coat compresses, it means that this could come loose and the child could come out of the car seat, be ejected, and we don't want that to happen.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, more than 46% of children ride in car seats that are incorrectly installed. For more information on car seat safety, we have a link on our website, and that is 12.tv. Coming up, getting into the Christmas spirit even without the snow.
But first, we get set for the Armstrong-Cooper Holiday Classic Girls Hockey Tournament. John Jacobson is live from New Hope Arena next. Well, there are plenty of holiday tournaments on the schedule over the next week and a half.
And one of them gets started tonight. It is the annual Armstrong-Cooper Girls Holiday Classic, which you can see live right here on Channel 12. Sports Director John Jacobson is out at New Hope Ice Arena for a preview. Hi there, John.
Hi, Alex and Mike. Thank you very much. This tournament started back in 1996 as the Cable 12 Cup. Armstrong-Cooper was the host team, as they still are. And the other three teams in the tournament were Osseo, Park Center, and Wayzata. Park Center won that first tournament, beating Osseo in the final. There are 4 teams again in this year's tournament, Armstrong-Cooper and Champlain Park. Those teams will play here on the North Rink at 7 o'clock at New Hope, and then at 7:15 on the South Rink, it'll be Tocino Grace and Minneapolis. Third place in championship games tomorrow back here at New Hope. And joining us now is Kevin Grays, the head coach of the Armstrong-Cooper team. And Kevin, I know it's always fun to have this tournament. It'll go back to an 8-team tournament, but now 4 teams this year. As you look at the teams and the common opponents, it seems like 4 pretty evenly matched teams, which I think you'd like to have for a tournament, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's we're excited to have. We think we're going to have some exciting hockey in the building for the next 2 days, and kind of showcase what the girls have been doing this year.
Holiday tournaments are always a time for alumni to come back and watch their teams. We've run into a number of players over the years. Is that kind of fun for you to see some girls that you coached through the years come back and support their old program and just to say hi and watch some hockey?
Yeah, it's we feel very good that they come back and they want to. They're always, hey, can we come skate with you and come out, and they've been here at Thanksgiving and now and so yeah, it's very exciting, and it's one of the things that we really look forward to in our program.
Champlain Park tonight, what do you expect from the Rebels?
We have traditionally very tight games with them. I think it'll be up and down the ice, pretty fast, pretty physical. So a Northwest Suburban game. It's a conference game, so there's a little more than even just the tournament game tonight.
Good luck in the tournament. Thanks for having us again.
Thank you so much, and for all the coverage that you do here for us.
You bet. Other sports now. We'll talk to boys basketball now. In early December, Wayzata had a game against Lakeville South that was postponed because of the death of Lakeville students. Well, that game was replayed, or rescheduled, I should say, for Monday night and played at Wayzata High School. And highlights from this one, Gavin Baumgartner with the cross-court pass to Jack Sawada for a Wayzata three-pointer early on. Cade Carlson answers with a money ball for the Cougars, and they go ahead 21-20. The Trojans go on a run, though. Austin Slater gets the steal and sends a long pass to Baumgartner for a Wayzata dunk. Johnny Benega dribbles and hits the 15-footer for a 30-23 Wayzata lead. And then Sawada with a 3 at the buzzer for a 35-28 halftime lead. Early second half, the Trojans in transition. Benega takes it all the way and scores off the glass. Lakeville South hangs around, though. Carlson hits a big 3, cutting Wayzata's lead to 51-50. Benega with a dribble drive. He'll rattle in the short jump shot. Wayzata still in front, and again, Carlson will crack a long ball to make it 58-57 Wayzata. Trojans finally start to pull away late. Sawada powers in for a basket and foul, and Wayzata grinds out a win. 77-65 Trojans is the final. The Hopkins boys basketball team enters this week unbeaten and #1 in Class 4A. They will get a test tonight against Champlain Park. Jay Wilcox has an update on the Royals.
They know the really important games come later, but the Hopkins guys admit an 8-0 start with a win over previous #1 Apple Valley included feels pretty good.
Can't dwell on that win too much because we know we'll see them again eventually, and they'll be coming back even better. The day went really well for us as a team. Everybody played solid. I think we had like 5 guys in double digits.
Yeah, it's really good to have a tough start of the season, especially Wayzata, Apple Valley. Because if we get started earlier and kind of get our stuff before Christmas, it's usually after Christmas is when we pick it up and get better.
They'll get no sympathy from opponents, but Hopkins' strong start is even more impressive considering how many nagging injuries have affected their rotation and limited practice time for some.
I think every other week somebody gets injured, and we haven't been able to practice with a full team since week 1, actually. So it's kind of tough on us, but I think mentally we handle it well.
The whole beginning of the season right now, someone's been out literally the whole time, and sometimes 2 or 3 people. And right now we got 3 people down out of the top 6, and we just got to try to go through it. Now it gives other people an opportunity, but the problem is the timing. It gets really hard.
Amir Coffey returned from missing most of last season with a knee injury, and he's been pretty dominant. The Gopher recruit is one of 5 Royals regulars averaging in double figures. There are plenty of good teams around the area this winter. If Hopkins keeps improving, it's a state title contender. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
We'll have highlights of that big Hopkins Champlin Park game for you Wednesday, starting at 4 at 12 on 12 News. And again, a reminder, Armstrong-Cooper versus Champlin Park live girls hockey tonight here from New Hope Ice Arena starting at 7. Back to you guys.
All right, all kinds of live coverage. Thanks much, John. Coming up, sounds of the season thanks to Cooper High School.
We'll be right back. Well, there's still not much in the way of snow, but a 1-horse open sleigh is ready to go in Maple Grove. We found it as part of the holiday light display at 6497 Glacier Lane. There's also the row of candy canes leading to Santa's Workshop, which still has toys being tried out. This is a yard that's jam-packed full of holiday lights and characters, and a lot of cars stopping by to take a look. If you need a Christmas boost, well, this ought to do it.
Wow.
And that's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
And more sounds of the season as we say goodbye. Here is a choral group from Cooper High School called Bella Voce. We'll see you again tomorrow.